Hey guys, I want to announce a super hot video drop from one of our show's regular guests, VIP by TOT with featuring artist Genie. And if you look closely, you might even catch a glimpse cameo from your local podcaster. So go show some love and support by giving the homie a follow and checking out this wild ride of a video in the link down below in the description. Guys, you know them. You love them. I do this at the beginning of every episode. If you don't know them by now, go fuck yourself. Stutterbox Productions, the backbone to many of the events that we have here in the Midwest. Are you trying to find your next spot? Because these guys, they can help. Hit up their Facebook page, hit up the CEO, and they can direct you any way they can. They have plenty of shows lined up. They have plenty of things going on. What are you waiting for?
Let me tell you a really cool story. Today, I got to tour a pizza factory, and that doesn't happen often. So that was really cool, and I'm going to keep talking till you're happy with the levels.
Yeah. We're happy
good?
with the levels.
All right, sick.
Fuck yeah, let's jump into it.
All
Guys, what's up? This is the McAllister's Podcast. I'm your host, always, Colin McAllister. We got a super special episode today. Otis Julius, all the way from California, on tour, took time out of his day to come do this, so I really appreciate it, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm really happy to be here. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I was talking to your fellow crew here, and they said this is your second stop of the tour, so still pretty fresh?
Yeah. Last night we were in Madison.
Okay.
And now we're in Des Moines, and I freaking love Des Moines, so I'm stoked to be here.
Hell yeah. So let me ask you, like I said, I know you're still fresh, but like you've done tours before, you're familiar. What is the best and the worst part of being on tour for you?
Man, that's a really, really hard question. I used to say, because I used to tour the backing band, and as a result, I played with a whole bunch of like rock bands as local support, and my favorite part of tour was whenever the local band would cover Blink-182. That just like, it always happened. If there was a bad local band, you were going to hear a bad Blink cover, and it just made my night.
Hell
but, part of the reason that I make music is the ability to go out and travel, and ever since I was young, I really wanted to tour, and I just think that the road dog aspect is by far my favorite part of it. Nice. I think the hard part, the part that I like the least, is like the amount of work that goes into it, because like right now we're on a 12-day tour, but planning for this started 6 months ago ish. It's like you work 6 months of hard work trying to get something figured out. You go out for 12 days, like it's a ton of work, like, and then I'm grateful and blessed to be at a point in my career to where I finally have a guy helping me. Yeah. But like, I did everything DIY for so long, and it's just like
How long?
It's so much. So interesting, a little bit of my background.
Sure.
I just celebrated my 10-year anniversary as a rapper.
Wow.
So I've been rapping for 10 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I was part of this, I guess I was the project called Big O, and I toured with a backing band. And then in 2019, I transitioned, lost the backing band, and transitioned into Otis Julius. And so Otis has been a thing since 2019, which brings us to 4 years. Is that right? Almost 5 years. Yeah. So, that's kind of fancy. Look at those effects. But, so I did everything DIY until probably 20... Straw, when was the first ISO tour? 2019?
Okay.
So I did everything DIY until probably 2020. I think that's the first time me and Straw worked together. Okay. And Straw is the owner, the guy behind Nice Enough Entertainment, and like when it comes to these mid-level / small level touring acts, he's like one of the bigger I would say the biggest promoter in the Midwest, doing what we're doing, and he works with a lot of bigger acts too. But I'm blessed and grateful enough that we kind of just mashed well together and we're able to work together, and he helps share a lot of the workload, and it's super rad. Super rad.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah, I can imagine, how much that helps.
Yeah.
Because doing the podcast here, doing everything solo for me, that's nothing compared to what you do. But I mean, it's a beast to do everything yourself. Man.
Yeah. It's different for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, and one of the things I wanted to say about you as an artist that I really appreciate is like you really have your own unique style. Like you come out with the pizzas. Like I've never heard of a rapper that gives pizza out at the beginning of the show. Like that's genius, man. I love it. Like you have such a unique way about you. Like you're not trying to like be the typical white boy rapper. You know what I mean? You have your own style. You're happy. Like I love it, man.
Cool. Yeah. And I think it took me a little bit of time to figure this out, but I realized like part of like I don't know my mission statement, my job description, whatever you want to call it, is that like I'm able to make people smile, and I'm realizing that in this world there's a lot of times where I may be the only smile that somebody has for that week, for that month, for that day, for that hour, whatever that is. I'm just blessed and fortunate enough to be the joy and the bright light and the sunshine in some people's lives for a short amount of time, and I take that job very, very seriously.
Hell yeah. So let me ask, like, how have you managed to maintain that? Because I mean, I can imagine doing this 10 years. You've had lulls, you've had lows, like but you still here. You have a positive demeanor. Like how do you think you've maintained that over the years?
I'll give you the less popular answer. I'm just gonna say it's a Jesus thing. Okay. Like I'm a big Jesus guy, but outside of that, like believe in yourself, and like I've definitely been through the lows. Like there's kind of a joke in the touring community that's just like you're not actually a touring artist until you've been robbed on tour. It's like, hey, guess what? We've been through that. Like that's a low.
I know we only have 20 minutes, but do you mind telling me about that really quick? What happened?
We played San Francisco, and we got into town.
Of course.
Of course. This was I don't know if this was 2017 or 2018. We were playing San Francisco. We got into town before sound check. So we went to freaking Costco to buy ice cream. We walked into Costco. We're talking middle of the day, 2 p.m., 3 p.m. And I came outside, and people were leaving our van. And so, like, I just started yelling and running up. And they had their getaway car that they were putting all of our suitcases in. And so, like, I put my hand through the window to try to grab a suitcase out. And my arm got stuck, and they dragged me around the corner, ran over my foot, and left me out in the gutter and took off.
Oh, my God.
So we went to DNA. They broke the door to get into. So we went to DNA Lounge. That's where we were playing that night. Thankfully, I had a friend who was one of the local acts playing that night. So we swapped out. During his set, we sat out in our van because like the door wouldn't close. We were not trying to get everything else stolen, And then during our set, they sat down there for us. And I remember that night, like I literally had the clothes that were on my back, and so like I took my shirt off to play the show because I didn't want to get it sweaty. And then the next morning, that night, we drove, slept in a Walmart parking lot. The next morning, we woke up and went shopping for like socks and underwear and like T-shirts in Walmart because we didn't have any clothes or like toothbrushes, So like, the Lowe's. We had a couple Mexico dates on that tour. We were getting ready to head down into Mexico, and my drummer and my bass player had their passports stolen, so we had to cancel the rest of the tour. So like,
oh my God.
Highs and lows. But
you had to cancel the rest of the tour?
We didn't have to, but like it was at the point. It's just like we just got to call it quits because the Mexico dates aren't working. The door's broken, and it was a specialty Sprinter door that like we had a converted Sprinter that I had purchased, and so it was like not like you could just stop at any Mercedes to like get it fixed. Like so it was a giant ordeal, and it was just like we just got to call it,
Oh my God, man, I can't even imagine that.
Yeah. So that's like definitely been through the lows, and like. Just I've also kind of worked. Like I got my first job in a plastic factory when I was 14. So 14 I was making plastic, and like figuring out how to work for yourself is like kind of something that I learned is important, So right out of high school, I didn't go to college or anything. Right out of high school, I was a mailman for 5 years, delivered mail.
Okay.
And then during that time, I took a 4-month trip to Congo, Africa. And I lived in orphanages out there.
Oh, my God.
I came back. The post office saved my job for me. I came back, worked another year, and, like, I was just like, I was meant for so much more than delivering the mail. Like the world is here to go see and explore. And I was driving a Mercedes at the time because I was a mailman making all right money.
Yeah.
And sold my Mercedes, bought a camper van, went on the road, lived on the Oregon coast for a year. Wow. Moved into Portland for a year, and inside while I was in Portland, I met this dude with a home studio, and I went and wrote my first rap song. And I was like, all right, cool, let's do this. And here we are 10 years later, you know?
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, you know, those experiences going to Africa, you know, going on a van, I mean, those seem like very humbling experiences.
Yeah.
What did that teach you? Like being in Africa, you know, living out of your van in Oregon and that type of stuff, you know?
Man, that's a really good question. I don't know if I've ever been asked that before.
We try.
Yeah. I think it taught me, first of all, perseverance.
Hell yeah.
I think it taught me to be, I can't say it taught me to be grateful because I think I've kind of always been grateful. I come from very humble beginnings back home, you know? And, I think it taught me to be grateful, or showed me to be grateful, maybe is a better word to say. And then also that, like, just learn to figure stuff out, man. You want to you want to do something, figure out how to do it. Like, you figure out what your priorities is, and like that's why I always tell people. They're like, "Oh, I really want to tour." It's like, do it. Like, make sure it makes sense. I want to be a rapper. Do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Like,
yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I've interviewed a lot of people, and that is almost always their advice.
Yeah,
just do it. That's literally the first step.
Yeah. So
it sounds basic, but speaking of your plastic factory, I noticed that you put out a line of, was it just a Lego or something with Lego you put out a little bit ago? Right?
Yeah. So
that was a promo you did.
Yeah, just recently I just dropped my second custom Lego set.
Oh, your second one?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. So I dropped the first one whenever I dropped the music video for Hyundai to Ferrari, and that's the Lego music video. So I got the Lego music video and dropped the custom Lego set on the same day.
Okay.
And then for this tour, I dropped the Otis's Pizzeria Lego set. And it's limited edition. There's only 21 sets made.
Wow.
And yeah. So I'm a Lego fanatic.
Okay.
I live in a small 2-bedroom apartment in LA, but I dream of having a Lego room, you know? Like, I haven't got that yet, but someday.
Have you been to Legoland before?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
I was there like a month and a half ago.
Okay. So you just always had a love for Legos.
Yeah, I had Lego as a kid. And then I found it again as an adult during the pandemic, I think, you know?
Sure.
Bought my first set because I thought the set was really cool. I wasn't even stoked about it being Lego. I was just like, oh, this is really cool. It's the Nintendo NES with the Mario screen.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, this is sick. And then I was like, oh, I really enjoyed buying this and like building this. And then it just kind of, back into Lego, yeah.
Hell yeah. So I'm curious, what was the process of like, having that happen? Because, obviously I'm sure there's trademark things that you had to, clear. Like, what was the process of doing that?
I will tell you that I am small enough that nobody important knows. I say, like, hey, if people are telling you can't do something or you got to quit doing something, you're doing something right and you're being noticed. And I ain't there, you know? Yeah. But there's a brick building software that Lego owns. They didn't create it, but they bought it.
Okay.
It's called Stud.io. It spells out studio. But yeah. And you can design your own Lego sets on that software.
Okay.
And then you can design the instructions, and then it will give you the brick count and the brick pieces. And then you can order them all from a secondary website called Bricklink. And it's just like this marketplace of people with small Lego shops across the country, and they'll ship them out to you. So, like, if you need, like, for this set, I needed 21 1x12 gray bricks, for one for each set, you know? And so there's one store somewhere that has 21 of those, and they'll ship them out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's weird, but I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, it sounds cool, man. Well, hey, I think we're getting about to the 20-minute mark. I know you got to get going.
Thank you. Let's talk music a little bit. I'm sure you didn't come here to talk about. I'm sure you didn't come here to talk about Lego.
I thought I saw Justin use, but get into your music. For those who don't know, what's your style? What's some of your influences with that? Just real quick.
Well, I don't even know. I kind of just do what I want.
Kind of your own person.
Yeah. When I mentioned, in Portland meeting that guy and writing my first rap song, like my goal was to be Mac Miller and Macklemore crossed together, and I sound nothing like that. And we're not even close, but like somehow that transformed and got me to where I'm at now, and that's cool. When people ask me what I sound like, I tell them, like, imagine if Rage Against the Machine and Beastie Boys had a kid with Kid Rock, and you might almost be there, So, like, yeah, I don't really know what to say. I just kind of do my thing, and some people like it, and it works out.
That's awesome.
But, I try to, people ask me what I rap about. I say, honestly, like my ideas in my life, and like a lot of that comes out to be positivity, and sometimes there's a little bit of, I don't want to say negativity, but a little bit of hard reality built into it too,
Yeah.
And so, I think, I don't know, I just think it's all important, and like, that whole idea of like only showing the positive side, that ain't it. That whole idea of fake it till you make it or fronting something, like that ain't it. Like, just be you,
That's awesome.
So yeah, I'm working on a new album right now, and just wrote these lyrics that like have really been stuck in my head. But like the idea was like, how have I been doing this for 10 years? Still don't have 10K on IG, like it's really like, I don't know, the reality's wild, but somehow we're making it work, and I got good people around me, and we got cool things going on. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, they say it takes at least a decade to get where you are. So you're already at that point.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting on, man. I did a feature probably like 6 months ago, and I had a line in it that said, I just might be the next 9-year overnight success story, I was like, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I like that.
That's awesome. You still got a new album coming out. When can we expect that to drop for those?
It was supposed to be like last week, so maybe I'm a hope. I'm a reshoot. I got to sit down and go over everything, and I'm a hope like March-ish.
Okay.
There's a lot of moving parts to it. I'm working on a song with the biggest feature that I've ever had before. There's another really big feature that I'm trying to get roped into this as well. And so those are all things I'm not ready to talk about yet.
Sure.
But I'm excited for it. The last EP, the Otis EP, it hit number 8 on the iTunes charts, and it was like the biggest thing I've ever done. And so it's also really intimidating to me going into it, like trying to figure out, like, am I going to be able to break top 10 again? Am I going to be able to break 8? And if so, like, what comes after that? Like, I got to figure out how to make these transition into Billboard spots, because iTunes is really cool, and iTunes is also really achievable, and there's a lot of fake flexing that goes on with iTunes charts.
Oh yeah,
and
sure.
like, it's not fake flexing. It's just, it's almost misinformation. Like it's achievable,
Yeah.
And so while, I don't want to take away from what I've done or what anybody else has done, it's also not the same as having, number 8 on Billboard. That's a whole nother beast,
Yeah.
And so just always trying to figure out how to move forward. Like, yeah. It's interesting. It's weird. This world is really weird. It's weird. I don't know.
I'm in agreement with you there, man.
Yeah.
It's a weird fucking world. Hey, man, it's been a super awesome pleasure to meet you.
Yes.
Finally, we've been talking about this for a while. You're from California, so it's hard to make this work. But we
I'm
did
happy.
it. We're here.
Yeah. And there's a small chance that I'll be back in, I think, April. I think,
Okay.
and if that's the case, like, we'll try to see if we can get like a full length or something like that.
Hell
Make
yeah.
it. Yeah.
That'd be awesome, man.
Cool. I love it.
Hey.
Anything else we need to go over? Do you need any plugs or anything like that from me?
I mean, if you want to plug something, you definitely can.
Yeah, okay. You can find me at Instagram and Facebook are both Otis Julius Music. And my website is otisjulius.com. And go listen to my music and watch my videos on YouTube and buy Lego, I guess, because the brick economy is really weird right now. That's what I got, I guess.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks again, man. You're a really unique guy, and I'm really glad to get you on here. Guys, Macau Stars podcast every Monday at 7 p.m. We got a website, we got Patreon, we got all that. You know what's up. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.
Let's go.